As South Africa, we're ready to fight M23. No withdrawing our troops from DRC, and if we do that, it's worse than surrender. We're not ready to be humiliated. These words spoken by the South African Minister of Defense, Minister of Foreign Affairs, Donald Lamore, today in an emergency session about the issues in DRC Congo, in DRC, where 14 South African army men and women were killed by M23. Now, because of that humiliation, South Africa is saying we're not ready to be humiliated. We're gonna fight, we're gonna kill, we're gonna do whatever it must be done to reclaim our dignity from the stupid, bogus, bad boys of M23. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it.
Mediated by credible political leaders whose political campaigns are not funded by mining magnates with direct financial interests in the region. The lives of our soldiers can no longer be traded for the profits of the ANC's elite. I thank you.
Oh, can I even clap?
Honourable the Minister of International Relations and Cooperation.
Yeah. It started that way. It started that way. Just listen and watch.
Honourable members, I stand shoulder to shoulder with my esteemed parliamentary colleagues, united in our tribute to the fallen heroes of our National Defence Force members. The
Fallen
Malawi
heroes.
Defence Force members, the Tanzanian Defence Force members, and the Uruguay Defence Force.
That is sad.
Under the UNESCO and the Summit DRC. It is not just a tragedy for our country.
It's
It is a tragedy that has befallen UNESCO. It is a tragedy that has also befallen the Summit DRC. It is an international tragedy. The budget and resources for the mission doesn't only come from the South African National Defence Force. It comes from SADC through the Summit DRC and also through the UN Security Council. The argument that the mission is not well funded or is underfunded, therefore is devoid of the truth. Because the budget comes from the UN, Summit DRC, and indeed we also contribute. So it is therefore unfounded that we have sent our troops without a clearly defined budget. Because in instances of these kind of missions, it's not the responsibility of a single country. Hence, we had Malawi, we had Uruguay, we had Tanzania, and other countries participating in UNESCO that are funded through the UNESCO process. As a nation, we have a responsibility to protect, defend, and encourage our defense force. Let us collectively embrace their memory, cherish the lives lost, and enable cause for peace. The security situation in the Eastern DRC predates 1994 and has escalated over time. Several illegal armed groups, including the ADF, FDLR, LRA, Red Tabara, and M23, continue to operate in the Eastern DRC and have since morphed into about 150 local armed groups with a presence in North and South Kivu provinces. The recent developments in the Eastern DRC could reconfigure these groups. The net outcome of this scenario has been cynical insecurity, displacement both internally and externally, sexual exploitation and abuse as well as gender-based violence as an instrument of war, illicit exploitation and trafficking of natural resources, and erosion of authority of the state, amongst others. Human security and development.
Blue. There is trafficking of mineral resources and human trafficking, bro. All that done by M23 and all those terrorist groups, are they terrorist groups, labor groups in Eastern DRC? Even there is Tabara. Tabara means war. Tabaro. All those labor groups in Eastern Congo. Who exactly killed South African army men and women? Who? M23, Tabara, who? Let's hear it.
Development has thus been extensively undermined. Various peace initiatives have recognized the need for a dialogue with all armed groups and the state actors to resolve the conflict. Hence, the recent summit of East Africa and the SADC region resolving on this matter again. There has also been recognition of a peacekeeping mission to support the government of the DRC in achieving peace. Hence, the UN deployed in the various stages of the conflict. SADC and East Africa community. There has been various deployments from the UN, SADC, and many other missions to the DRC, because there is a recognition that the DRC alone cannot handle this conflict. There is also a recognition that no one country can help resolve the conflict. The current mission of Summit DRC is not an exception on the need.
South Africa. No single country can dissolve the insurgency, the insecurity in Eastern DRC. We must be together. It must be a collective responsibility of everybody in Africa. Every African state, every African country must be involved in bringing back peace in Eastern DRC. If you are not there, then where are you? If you are not supporting peace in DRC, then what are you supporting? Are you supporting M23 to continue killing innocent people? Or are you supporting the supporter of M23? But who is that one? Bro, now where we are, this is the Africa must be. That we must unite. We must stand up for our values. We must stand up for our neighbors. We should not leave these stupid rebel group men from anywhere, supported by anybody, anyhow, to kill people, to abduct people, to enslave our people, to traffic people and the main laws, to rape women. That's so too bad, bro.
Peacekeeping contribution in the Democratic Republic of Congo over the years, through personnel deployed as part of infantry battalion, helicopter units and military medical teams, have been essential to efforts to build peace and ensure the health and safety of our fellow peacekeepers. This is not me speaking. These are the words of the Under-Secretary General of Peace Operation, Jean Peace Lecroix of the United Nations. If you thought it's propaganda.
Okay, not propaganda.
Our freedom is a product of international solidarity.
Okay.
One of the pillars of our struggle was international solidarity. This led to the frontline states playing a key role in our struggle.
Okay.
Hence, we ended up with the Battle of Cute Canavaro in Angola, the Maseru massacre, and the Matole raid by the Medara's apartheid regime. Since the dawn of our democracy, our country has been an unwavering champion for peace and justice in the continent and the globe. The principle of sovereignty, integrity of nation, as contained in Article 2 of the UN Charter, is sacrosanct. It must be defended by all peace-loving nations of the world, and South Africa is no exception. It is against this background that the SADC also has its own in terms of Article 6 of the SADC Treaty on Defense, which states the following: an armed attack on a state party shall be considered as a threat to the regional peace and security and shall be met with immediate collective action.
Ooh. Any attack on any member of SADC, that's trying to take away the peace in SADC. Meaning you are opening a war on SADC, and all SADC members must get up, shoot you, kill you, kick you out of the process. Bro, now where we are, I can see fire. Fire is coming from somewhere. Now, if SADC is non-surrendering, South Africa is non-surrendering to M23, meaning now it's time to shoot and kill the M23. Bro, but will you survive? Will you win this battle? Because you are supporting your member state. That is DRC. DRC is the member state of SADC. And if M23 being supported by someone somewhere is making, is killing, intimidating, is abducting, is raping people from DRC East. Now you've opened a war on SADC. There, SADC is gonna come for you wherever you are. M23, get ready, SADC is coming, and this time they are more ready, more equipped, and they are ready to kill you. Oh, bro, how will this end?
We are not immune to regional conflict. Hence, we have got the responsibility to defend, protect, and ensure peace in the region, and an attack and response to any security situation in our region. Recognizing that a peaceful Africa is crucial for economic and social development for the continent.
That's
we
key.
Participated in a lot of peace missions in the continent, in
Peaceful
Sudan,
Africa,
Mozambique, South Sudan, and so on, to silence the guns in line with Vision 2063 of the African Union. In the DRC, we have not only participated through Summit DRC, we have participated in building a state from the scratch, helping SARS, helping all measures of state building. We are currently in South Sudan doing the same, helping South Sudan to transition to a democratic elections. This will not happen out of context. It has to be a deliberate, progressive policy of the South African government to intervene in the continent. And we will do so unapologetically.
Oh,
we have a responsibility.
They'll do so unapologetically. Then M23, get ready, South Africa is coming. They will do so unapologetically. Then there's a war coming. If those supporting M23, they don't ceasefire, they don't stop what they're doing, meaning South Africa is going to be at war with those supporting M23. Because M23 is not alone. They don't just, they're a group of labels that they are fighting DRC. No, they are big countries in Africa which are supporting, which are funding M23. Meaning if you come to fight M23, you are fighting those countries and they'll fight you too. Will South Africa again or remain with that dignity everybody is singing in it? Or you gonna be oh, South Africa, you're gonna lose your dignity. If you don't win this label, M23 guys, then South Africa will cease to be called South Africa. It will be called what? Called South Africa? Can that happen?
And will not be blackmailed by those who accuse our president or anyone, or even the ANC, of some kind of economic interest. As I have stated, all our missions have been informed by the UN Charter, by the SADC Protocol, by our interest to see peace in the continent and nothing else.
That's key. That's key.
It is also our interest to see economic prosperity anywhere in the African continent.
Agree.
Hence you have South African companies in most parts of the African continent.
Yeah.
There is no part of the continent where you don't have South African companies. You have multi-choice in Nigeria and all over the country. You have got MTN all over the continent. It's a duty we owe to the continent to ensure that there is economic prosperity, because economic prosperity anywhere in the continent is economic prosperity in South Africa. According to the UN, we are one of the most...
Now, before according to the UN, if South Africa has companies in every country in Africa, mean that is its sole duty to protect those companies. And protect those companies means to protect the people who are the customers of those companies. Bro, now we're gonna see fire. In DRC, there are companies from South Africa. and the customers to those companies are being killed, being raped, being kidnapped by M23. Now South Africa is ready to fight M23, bro, to protect its customers.
Receiving countries of migrants in the continent. It is therefore crucial that we play a role to maintain peace, to achieve economic stability in the continent. You will not only receive people here just because there is a conflict, but conflicts arise out of a fight for natural resources, for economic challenges. That's why our policy on foreign policy is very clear. Support peace and stability through dialogue, which we are supporting through multilateral platform. But we also have an economic policy that must help in terms of economic diplomacy to ensure that the African continent prosper. The Africa Free Trade Program and various flagship programs aim to resolve the economic challenges of our continent, are part of the progressive policies of this government of South Africa. And this is acknowledged across the globe, not only in the African continent. The UN Security Council recognized the important role played by South Africa in peacekeeping mission in the continent. The UN recognized the role played by South Africa in the economic development in the African continent. The debate on critical minerals in the continent, we are one of those that are leading this discussion. We will be soon hosting the G20. We have a responsibility as a country to drive to ensure that the debate on critical minerals, it must benefit the African continent. We do not fail to succeed and achieve in this phase of the minerals endowment this continent has. So this is how...
I do agree with that one, 100%. All the conflicts in Africa is as a result of its minerals. There are key players in Western countries somewhere who are yearning for these minerals. And they use some rebel groups. They create the so-called rebel groups to create insurgencies in some parts of Africa where minerals are, just to get those minerals at a cheaper cost, bro. Oh my. Then Africa, you must stand up.
In this critical juncture, has got a collective responsibility to help the government of national unity to ensure that there is peace in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. We have got a collective responsibility not only on political and economic grounds. The ECDC has warned that if this conflict goes unattended, we run a risk of a pandemic in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, but which can override all over the continent. This is a mostly densely populated society, not only in Africa, but in the whole world. So we will be reckless, we will be irresponsible not to participate to resolve the conflict in the Eastern DRC.
Bro, things are going tough. M23, you must get ready. Your time is ending. Your clock is clicking, ticking. South Africa is ready to fight you, bro. South Africa is ready to fight you. If you're not ready to withdraw, if you're not ready to cease fire, then fire's gonna fire you.
We have a duty to ensure that this conflict is resolved through the EAC and also through the SADC mission, which I have already stated and I have spoken about. It is an important instrument that must assist us to resolve this conflict and through the processes of the African Union. I have heard honorable members saying we must withdraw. And some of them have said we must do it now. I want to say that an abrupt withdrawal, as called upon by some in the House, is not even a tactical retreat. It is even worse than a surrender. As with the numbers of armed groups in the area, there lies an ambush. How do you immediately withdraw when there are 150 armed groups that are not controlled by anyone? You are sending our troops yourself to an ambush, because as they leave, they will be running to many ambushes that are uncoordinated and unknown. It is against this background, that the South African government support the processes of the East Africa and the SADC region of a ceasefire, of reopening of the Goma airport, of reopening of the supply routes to enable the normalization of the situation. When the situation has been normalized and there has been a proper assessment, our boys and men will definitely come back home. But there must be a process, there must be calculated means that are undertaken, that we make sure that what we are deployed for them does materialize, does exist, and it is achieved. We will not deter as the South African government. We will march forward to ensure peace in the Eastern DRC. Thank you very much.
Bro.
Honourable members.
Bro. There's no surrendering. Surrendering is worse than withdraw, bro.
On behalf of the presiding officers, we would also like to extend our deepest condolences to the families of the fallen soldiers. Honourable members, that then closes the debate. And please, members, also, I request you to stand and wait for the presiding officer and the mace to leave the chamber. The House is adjourned.
House adjourned. You heard that? House adjourned. But as House gets adjourned, there is no withdrawal. No abrupt withdrawal of our troops in DRC. And if that is done, it's worse than surrender. Meaning South African troops, South African government has surrendered to M23. Bro, South Africa is not ready to surrender to M23 to anyone, because it's the icon of the continent and it must be there. No one should put it down, yo, and it must see that every country in Africa, it is in peace, bro. If you were disorganizing peace in any country in Africa, bro, they will come for you. As the way they've gone for M23. M23 did a mistake, killing 14 South African soldiers. Now guys are ready. Whatever comes, they are ready. Air, water, ground, oh bro. All the money, all the necessary resources have been collected, have been put in this war so that it stops immediately. South Africa is ready, is so ready to make Congo better, great again. I'm excited and happy for what South Africa is proposing, for what South Africa is capable of doing, and for SADC, East African Community combination of fighting M23 and stopping the insurgents in Eastern DRC. We must be together. We must do this together. Me, you, we must collectively look forward to stop the M23 from killing our people in Eastern DRC. That's what they have resolved today in Parliament. It was a meeting that was called by the government of South Africa, emergency session called by Parliament of South Africa about the situation in DRC. Oh, fire is coming.